Cowboys quarterbacks coach Kellen Moore gives an inside look at how Dallas builds its playbook. DMN Staff Kellen Moore is a first-time coach after transitioning from being a player to the new quarterbacks coach, and in a recent interview, he broke down how the Cowboys create their playbook. For the most part, the installation of the playbook is organized by play styles. Certainly, the run game and the play action, which begins with a fake handoff to the running back before the quarterback passes the ball, and a screen, short pass, usually to a running back, are all lumped together into certain concepts. From there, as it evolves, you install things for certain situations. Those situations could include goal line plays, 2-minute drill, red zone plays, or third down plays. Whatever the situation, those things are installed specifically for those days of practice. The thing is, if you spend all your time trying to learn everything at once, you're never going to learn much. So, you focus on each day. Use each day to learn what is installed that day. And then, as you progress through each day, your knowledge base gets bigger and bigger. Ask the QB's coach, how many plays are in the Cowboys playbook? Christy Scales, 5 points blue in the original article. Moore explains how many plays are in the playbook, and how those vary from week to week. Moore, it can be a light week where there are 70 to 80 plays, or it could be a week in which you have 100 plus plays. I kind of varies. Each week is its own deal, and it can vary depending on your opponent. Sometimes there is some overlap depending on how their defense plays and what you're looking to attack based off your own personnel. Sometimes there is no overlap at all. But as for the overall playbook, it almost feels unlimited because of all the moving parts and different variations you can do within plays. 201819 NFL MVP odds: Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Carson Wentz. Favorites for award: Tim Daniels. Bleacher Report. The newest odds for the 2018 NFL MVP award were released by Bovada on Tuesday, and while Rodgers, Brady, and Wentz are unsurprisingly at the top, Dak and Zeke also appear on the list. Ranking the NFC East quarterbacks: Carson Wentz best or worst? Sports Day staff QB rankings are a staple of off-season reporting, and the DMN gathers its roundtable of writers to each give his or her ranking of the NFC East QBs. David Moore plays the contrarian with a unique take on the NFC East QBs. David Moore: interesting question. Each of these quarterbacks has contacted me in recent weeks to ask what I thought of them and where they rank in the division. Here's what I told them. 1. Alex Smith. He's been the most productive quarterback in the bunch over the past 3 seasons. Of course, since Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz are just now entering their 3rd seasons, you can call that an unfair advantage. What Smith won't have in Washington are the explosive skill players he had in Kansas City. 2. Dak Prescott. Let's clarify one point: he wasn't bad last season. The second half of the season was bad, and there are reasons for that decline. The point to remember here is that Prescott is 22-10 in his first 2 seasons. 3. Nick Foles. He ended the season leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl title. He'll open this season as the starter. He has the hot hand. 4. Eli Manning. The only multiple Super Bowl winner in the group. He'll be surrounded by an explosive cast this season, but his play in recent years has been erratic at best. 5. Carson Wentz. He was playing at a remarkably high level last season before a devastating injury. He and Prescott have the highest ceilings in this group, but the injury Wentz suffered is too significant to expect him to pick up where he left off. Move the Sticks podcast. Dak Prescott may be able to do some Brady-like things this year. NFL.com. Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks discuss why Dak is back, and why the Cowboys are the team that doesn't get talked about enough. Starts at the 37-20 mark of this podcast. Disagree that the Cowboys are the NFL's most popular team? Ask Science. Sports Day staff need more proof that the Cowboys are America's team. A recent study published by the Goizueta Business School at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, proves the Dallas Cowboys are the most popular team in the NFL. The study uses fan-based metrics to rank the teams, and Dallas came out on top. No surprise. In the study, the Cowboys ranked first in fan and road equity and second in social equity, making it pretty easy to see how Dallas is the most popular team in the NFL. The other teams with great fan bases: the Patriots, obvious; the Steelers, rightfully so; and the Giants and Eagles, well, maybe those last two were just bad arithmetic. Philadelphia Eagles talk. Recent list screws up NFL fan rankings. Jeffrey Knox, InsideTheEagles.com. Predictably, Eagles fans go on a rant as a reaction to the study. No science, just a lot of hot air. Mailbag: are NFL players allowed in the team facility during this month off? Brian Broaddus and David Hellman, DallasCowboys.com. While others are busy getting worked up about off-season rankings, Cowboys players continue to work out at team facilities during their time off. Brian: golf and fishing are two other things as well. Yes, players are allowed to be around, and a number of them take advantage of the facility to maintain their conditioning. David: considering how many players live in the Dallas area year-round, you might be surprised at how many guys are around the facility right now. Whether they're working out, grabbing meals, or just passing the time, there are plenty of guys hanging out here during the summer. Pro Football Weekly's 2018 running back rankings. Hibarkush, Pro Football Weekly more rankings. In this one, Ezekiel Elliott, who outrushed Emmitt Smith in their first two NFL seasons, comes in at No. 4. As a rookie in 2016, Elliott won Offensive Rookie of the Year honors and led the NFL in rushing, with 322-1, 361-15. He secured the rushing title by amassing 318 yards more than his closest pursuer. His sophomore campaign could have been even better, were it not for a 6-game personal conduct suspension, as he still managed 243-983-7 in just 10 games. Dez Bryant and Jason Witten both gone, the Cowboys' offense will be all Elliott's. At 6'0" and 225 pounds, Elliott has never missed a snap to injury. He's been effective in the passing game, with 58 receptions for 632 yards and 3 touchdowns in his 26 games, so the only question is, can he stay out of trouble? Factoid of the day: over his first two NFL seasons, Ezekiel Elliott has more rushing yards, 2,614, in 25 games than Emmitt Smith did, 2,532. And on TDs, Elliott, 22, is just one shy of Smith, 23. One cool customer, Addock, 44, June 26, 2018. Jalen Smith had a dream that Dez Bryant returned to the Cowboys. Seriously, RJ Ochoa, blogging The Voice a few months later. There are still mixed feelings from fans and analysts alike on the Cowboys' divorce from Dez Bryant. Linebacker Jalen Smith recently had a dream that this decision was undone, though. Predicting the Dallas Cowboys' 53-man roster, Drew Davison, Fort Worth Star-Telegram: no Dez Bryant on this roster projection, though Davison has 6 wide receivers projected, but just 3 tight ends, WRs, 6, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson. The Cowboys are remaking their receiving core with the departure of Dez Bryant in the offseason. Hurns and Austin are the 2 highest-profile additions, with holdovers in Beasley and Williams. Third-round pick Gallup is going to make the roster, too, leaving a battle for the final spot among Wilson, Deontay Thompson and Noah Brown. The early guess is that Wilson wins a spot. Tease 3, Jeff Swaim, Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz replacing Jason Witten isn't going to be easy, but the Cowboys like the crew they've got competing for playing time. Swaim is the veteran of the unit and should get first-team reps. But the Cowboys had nothing but good things to say about Jarwin, and they like the potential of Schultz. Free agent receiver Dez Bryant claims his last worry is finding a team. Bob Garcia IV, clutch points. While Jalen Smith is dreaming of where Dez Bryant will sign, apparently the receiver isn't too worried despite reports that interest in Bryant is cooling. Source: Seattle's Earl Thomas will be in an NFL training camp in July. Mike Fisher, 247sports.com. Mick Fisher keeps his and Earl Thomas's name in the headlines. The whispered view from somebody close to the Earl Thomas situation? He'll be in somebody's training camp at the end of July. Our fan post section is where Blogging the Boys members have the opportunity to write their own posts about the Cowboys. Take a little time to write a post about your thoughts regarding the Dallas Cowboys, and there's a chance it will be linked right here in our morning news roundup. Worst players in the Cowboys Super Bowl drought era. Goose 916, Blogging the Boys fan post. In the time since the Cowboys' last Super Bowl win, Dallas has had a ton of players come in and out of the team facility. Some have been very good, and some have been very bad. Goose 916 has come up with a list of the 20 worst players on the Cowboys during the Super Bowl drought era. There's no criteria here as to what makes a bad player, as players can be bad for a lot of reasons. I'll limit the pool to players who have suited up for the boys since the Cowboys last won the Super Bowl in 1995. I'll also leave off players who are still on the Cowboys, as they could always turn things around, hence the reason Chaz Green misses the cut here.